Kegan Anthony Kline, Kegan Anthony Kline, Kegan Anthony Kline. Present and future, visible and invisible for what we want to know. We want to know, did you murder Abby and Libby? That's kind of straight out. How did you murder the girls? What did you delete? Why did you delete stuff from your phone?
And what? And what did you delete?
Okay, and what? Are you the bridge man? Did you know or run into Richard Allen? Is what?
Let me see.
Precursor?
The PT Cruiser your car.
Okay.
And did he have any help?
Okay, I gotta remember all that. All right. Just a few questions. All right, here we go. And for what's hidden behind darkness, and the God and the saints will reveal the answers to our questions. Here we go. That was really a lot of questions, too. I mean, just get right to the point. Let's see what he did. Here we go. First two coming out for Kegan Anthony Kline.
Anything helps.
Ooh. True lies. So it talks about lies, deceits, and deception. And that's his true love. In other words, the love of a child, pedophilia, all those kind of things. He's the deception. He's what you don't want around your children. It says, and in the crossing of that, there's no defense. There's no justification. It says, this is what has him upside down, his house upside down, things upside down in his life. Or maybe he had a bad life that was upside down in his life. It's talking about these kind of things don't make him discontent. Like to us, if you're messing with our kids or you're doing stuff, like that's not cool. Like that's, people die for that shit. But to him, it brings him joy, it contents him, which is, I don't know, I can't call that normal, but okay. It says, and that's the burden he carries. That's been the burden that he carries. It says, he did see something eye to eye. So he's talking about seeing somebody eye to eye. Can't really see that. There we go. And then it talks about taming the lion or calming someone down or keeping someone quiet. It's talking about that. It talks about a girl. There's a girl. And then it talks about not good or bad. And it's kind of saying opportunities. It says an angry man. And then there's my card. And then it says things that were done or works that were done or something that was done. And it says, and those were his lovers. That's what he figures as lovers. Wow. Okay, so, this is going to be a tough reading because this is not someone who I think is playing with a full deck. As far as, if we want to call this a sickness or whatever you want to call it, you can call it whatever you want. But let's see. We're going to delve into the mind of someone who's a little bit bent, so I hope you guys can handle that. If I offend anybody, I apologize. I'm putting out there what it's being or what's in his mind. So
it might get dark, people.
It might get dark. So if you can't handle it, I understand. I'm not doing this to hurt anybody or to gross anybody out or anything else. I'm just gonna read it. So hopefully it's not that bad. But if it is, I apologize. Here we go. All right. We're going back to where it says lies and deceit. The illusion is his true love. Here we go. It says his world upside down. It says with no roads to take. It says all he thinks about is making money, enough money. It says, but even God is upside down with this person. It says there are no obstacles for him though. He finds a way to do all this stuff to make it happen still. And even though he's been busted with this, or he's about to get busted, there's still some deranged shit here that he gets away with. It says his home life or his home upside down. It says, but he's not destroyed. It's just that he's not complete. In other words, he's not complete. It says, doesn't have a lot of money. It says, but he's a king for the things he can do. Like, that's his outlet. That's his joy.
And because he gets away with it.
Well, I guess because he's gotten away with it, yeah. That's where he celebrates. That's how he parties. Being able to deceive children and being able to make contact, pretending someone else, and being able to become sexual with them in some way, coercing them there. It's the game he draws them into. You get what I'm saying? He gets them vulnerable. and he gets off on that. God, I'm in the mind of a sick person. He gets off on that shit. So, yeah, that's crazy. Okay. It says there's no justification and no defense. It's talking about, no real relationships, like not really have any real relationships, like with women. It says there's a woman, who likes him or who liked him. It says and wanted to have a family with him, but the sun never shined there. In other words, it just didn't work out. And then it talks about, again, things that didn't work out. We just said that, and it says that things just didn't work out. Okay, let's go see what the burden on his back is, because this should be kind of interesting. So we're kind of getting a sense, it's kind of painting a picture for us of what he is, and the things he gets off on, and the things he likes, opportunities he may have had, may not have had at this point. It says, but the burden on his back says, one of the things is that he doesn't have a lot of money, so that's a burden for him. The other thing that says his life is completely incomplete. In other words, there's holes, things missing, whether it's affection or the way he grew up, or maybe he was abused, I don't know, but still not an excuse for this. Maybe he was abused in that way. It says, as a child, upside down, so there you go. So since he was a child, same thing, went through some shit. It says, and at this point, like, he's never been able to find balance. That's what it's saying. He hasn't been able to find balance in his life, and because of his addiction, because of his fantasies and his things that he wants. It says, and with no delay, he continues on. Like nothing really stops him. He's going to be who he's going to be no matter what. So even though he might get busted and might do some time or whatever, the way it's going now for people who are doing this kind of shit is they're not even really getting any time. They're letting him go. Slap on the wrist. And they passed a law where you can have sex with a 10-year-old? You got to be kidding me. It says he did see someone face to face. It says, but at that point, it was a girl that was turned upside down. So it talks about another girl. So here's a girl here and a girl there. Saw them in the face. It says, no change though, only a new beginning. It says unhealthy, new beginning and being unhealthy, an unhealthy relationship. But it's talking about a young girl there and a relationship. And it's talking about how he didn't want things to end. Like when he starts to play this game, he wants to make it grow. He wants to make it become real. That's how he wins. That's how he makes the fantasy real. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty demented. Yeah, and that's what kind of pushes him and kind of makes him, take more chances. It says he's able to tame it around certain people, like be in control of it. But it's a big part of his life. It says that's what truly makes him happy. Wow. It says, and there's tons of karma all over this. Like, there's karma that's going to hit this fool eventually. So he's not alone, though. There's other people, even that he knows, that are into it. It says, and so he just returns back to doing the same thing. It says, and quickly, do we want to know about quickly?
Sure.
It says, quickly, it says, no hardship. It says, but his mom. So talk about the hardship with his mom, how he wished he didn't have to go through hardship with his mom. It talks about with his mom, and it says where he became impatient with not being able to have things or get things. It says that's what's truly hidden here is who he is underneath. And it says, and that's why he's a fool. He acts the fool. He does things foolishly. He does make stupid mistakes. Does stupid things. That's kind of the setup for this. And here's the other girl. It talks about a girl upside down, and then it talks about this girl. And these are young girls, which is crazy. It says no triumph. And then it says, but at the same time, not afraid to take risks. Like he says, if he knows he can't get away with it, he won't do it. But if he sees that he can, then he'll take a risk and do it. And so that's a scary thing. If you have kids, that's a scary fucking thing.
Wow.
That mind of somebody that you could be at the park with your kid, and here's some guy sitting there thinking like, can I just walk over there and catch a feel, or can I go? That's fucking scary. Like, fuck. Like
that is scary.
Come on, dude. Like
the way the girls died, they were by themselves pretty much.
Right.
And they were smaller, and we saw what he looked like. He's not a small guy.
No, he's not a small guy. But still, it doesn't say that he's killed anybody yet. So that's where we're going. It says, he does this of his own free will. He does this because he wants to. It says, and it's the evil that thrives inside of him. So there's the devil. It talks about it. The evil that thrives inside of him, that builds inside of him. It's become part of him. It's almost, that's how satanic this is. It says, but for him, he's doing good. Like it's a good thing that he's doing this.
Wow.
He sees it completely different.
Wow.
It's a scary thing. It says not good or bad. So it says for him, it's not good or bad. It's like it's supposed to be that way. It says until judgment time. It says where he'll be completely upside down. It says the spirituality or his spirituality has been brought to its knees. In other words, there's no deals with God there. He's death. It talks about death for death.
What?
So basically, he's going to be judged for death. And you see the spiritual, you see him upside down, brought to his knees.
Yeah.
And it talked about two girls. There's been two young girls on the table, but I don't know if that's somebody else, because I'm sure this isn't the first time he's done something, but it's talking about...
You get what you deserve.
But what if he's killed someone else? This is just... Wow.
If he pulled this one off, there's a good chance that he's done it before.
Oh, it says judgment for death. It's very... Not very precise, but it's saying judgment for death. It shows him upside down, and it shows spirituality, like he's going to burn. It says, at this point, he takes advantage of opportunities, he says. Not a lot of love. There's not he doesn't feel love like that. There's not a lot of love in his heart. This is to him something that's normal to him, I guess. I don't know. It says, it's been like that since the past. It says, that's what continues to cut off his head. In other words, that's what makes him continue to go do the same thing, even though he gets in trouble. It says because his mom was upside down with him. So I don't know if his mom maybe molested him or something happened. It says in the circle of life, he continues in the same circle, just in the same thing, doing the same thing. Like he's never going to stop until either he gets really, really in trouble or someone kills him, or he dies. It says an angry man. So it talks about my card kind of depicting the angry man and the things. It talks about the things that are in the works or the things that are working. It says an angry woman. It says, but not depressed. It says, and not someone who could change things. It says like doing magic or doing something to make things better for this person. So that his mom was angry. It's kind of saying. It didn't seem like she was depressed. She was just always mad, like angry.
He was a neglected child.
I don't know if maybe he was abused. Neglected, abused. In so many different ways. I don't know if she really cared about him. I kind of get that. It says, but in the right place. In other words, for this to have happened, he was in a place where he should have been. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how the abuse started, whatever it was, it talks about how he makes them his lovers. It says once he does stuff with them, it talks about death.
Wow.
It says, and then returns to doing it again. It says the problem he knows goes away, and then he knows he's made it again. He wins. That's how he triumphs in the game.
So you're
this is fucking
what we're
trippy.
going here is
sorry guys.
He may have done this more than once.
Yeah, bro. Kids go missing all the time.
And he traveled right after all this thing happened. So he knows the states.
He must. It's just, this is freaky shit. This is what I'm saying. These are the readings that kind of get me, because you go into the mind of someone who's really sick, and then I can kind of feel how they feel, and it's just a freaky thing. Like I don't want to enjoy what that idiot's enjoying, you know what I mean? But it's just a freaky feeling. Like you feel like, what am I doing? Like I shouldn't even be thinking like that. But this is this person's mind. It says we have a few cards left, so let's see what it goes. It says this is something he hasn't been able to beat it. Like he hasn't been able to master it. He says it says he's fighting it. It says, but in the end, he just ends up with broken heart. So this is his thing. This is bigger than being married. This is bigger than being having a child. This is bigger than any of that shit. To him, this is life. That's how tormented this person's mind is. This is life. Life is children, sex, because he assimilates with that. This is the mind of a demented man who's been bent so many different times. I mean, you can't feel sorry for what he's doing to other kids or what he's doing to people. That's just not fucking cool. This is a demented man.
Very, very.
It shows 2 girls, but I don't know if those are the exact 2 girls. I'd have to ask a more exact question. We should have you have Abby and Libby, but it doesn't give me an exact. But it's 2 girls, and they're young girls.
Should really investigate this guy. Because another thing, during all this, there was a group of teenage girls, a couple older girls, and they seen a man like that they described as bridge guy, with the jacket, the hat, and the pants, Levi pants, and all. They're not saying it was him, but
he could fit that profile as well, because when we looked at Paul Alder, you can see the roundness in the face, and the nose is kind of wide. But this right here is a scary, scary person. And exactly what you're saying, like he's mentally sick. He has to be, because this is what his love is, his life is. There's no for him. It's almost like a game. That maybe that's how when he was tormented when he was a kid. Maybe it became a game. You know what I mean? And then just became part of his life. Because people adapt to how they're raised.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean,
it's a sad thing.
It's messed up. I mean, it's really messed up what he's doing, because it's not cool. No excuse for the troubles he had.
Yeah, definitely. There's no excuse. I mean, like I said, these kind of readings are tough to do only because you really got to dig into the mind of someone who's a little bit bent and twisted, and you start asking yourself, like, wow, is this real? Like, is there people really like this? Like, how could you do this? It's just a scary, scary feeling, a scary thought.
No, this is a tough reading. This guy is all serious and stuff.
Yeah, I know. I got serious too.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's like, wow.
Sorry, guys. It's just this was a sick man.
Yeah, that was bad. That was brutal. No, that was brutal.
It says karma judgment. It says judgment for death and karma. So I mean, he's got them all. Whether it's these 2 exactly, it's not specific, but it is saying.
But he has a record for him to be locked up for the.
Yeah.
They do some deep dive investigation, because they said he deleted his stuff from his phone.
Exactly.
So I mean
I'm with you.
He's doing a lot of.
I'm with you.
Suspicious things here.
I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. So what do you guys think? I mean, to me, I don't know. It's crazy because he was having communication with them, and I think what happens to people who are sick, and what I've seen, to be honest with you, is that when they fall into that character and they're having that communication, it's real to them. It's really real to them. And so they have to live it out. They have to pursue. Once they're hooked into that person or to this child or to whoever they're in, they have to go all the way with it. Because the only way for, like I said, for them to win is for them to fulfill that fantasy and to live it out. But they can't leave a trace of it. Just saying.
Yeah. And this person whoever murdered Abby and Libby did take something from them, like as like a souvenir.
That's scary.
Deal.
That's even sick.
You know, like when people, like murderers, do all that, when they take something that's like.
What, do you take their underwear?
They didn't say. They haven't said any of that.
They call it their little trophies for each victim that they have.
So you guys are saying this person's sick. Well, and again, that's why I think we should read Paul Adler. That's why I really think we should read Paul Adler. Because then I'm going to always question myself. Because he's saying he's done shit. He's going to be judged for death. So he's done shit. But it's not specific if he's done those 2 girls. Maybe he's gotten away with some other shit because, like you said, he travels. Paul Adler obviously travels too, though. And that guy had just, was going to get arrested for assaulting a girl?
He was being charged, yeah. They were going to go arrest
for rape?
For raping a 26-year-old lady. And when they were getting on, I think he shot himself. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Yeah, he ended up shooting himself. But that's my thing. Like, he had a record for other shit too.
For rape, kidnapping.
Yeah.
He housed someone in his home or something like that.
Fuck, man. Like, there's some scary people out there. There's some sick people.